The essence of a movement, I know I'm talking to people who could probably define it much better than me, so I apologize, but a movement means that things are moving, and things that are in motion tend to stay in motion. So when I say a movement is made of communities, what I'm talking about here is people actually turning to each other, talking to each other, because when they talk to each other, what we have seen after nearly 100 million RSVPs, by the way, you're seeing a live stream of real-time RSVPs to meetups. This is actual right now. We've seen 100 million of these things, and we've seen 100 million RSVPs to 10 million meetups. A meetup is just a gathering of people at the Starbucks. You know, it might be 8 people gathering for the London cycling meetup. And what happens is they tend to keep meeting up. You know, when a bunch of interesting people are interested in the same thing, they meet up. What do? They say, hey, let's do this again. And you know what they do after they say, let's do it again? They say, let's something else. Like, let's create the most awesome London cycling group that would have a calendar full of cycling events going on every day. So in that sense, a community is moving. And it is natural for communities to become movements. Now, when I say a movement is made up of communities, what I really mean is that it's made up of connected communities. So let me tell you the untold story of the Tea Party. There's lots of stories how the Tea Party came about. They're probably all true. Here's one version of it. Glenn Beck went on TV and he said, go to Meetup and start a Glenn Beck Meetup in your town. Go to a Glenn Beck Meetup in your town. They created a Glenn Beck Meetup in about 500 towns. Today, that's about 700, but they all tagged themselves Tea Party. You look at these meetup groups, and they are some of the most active meetups we see on our system. The media loves to look at something like the Tea Party movement as this kind of like Koch brother, top-down, you know, like the media companies see things as they are sort of organized, which is in a top-down hierarchical form. In fact, these meetups, I really encourage you to go to t-party.meetup.com and see how intricately well organized, town by town, these people are. They have agendas, they have meetings, they have roles and responsibilities amongst people. They are turning to each other. They are a true community. They help each other out if one of them has cancer. They help each other out. The stories we see coming out of these Tea Party meetups are not just about the politics. And so, I remember sitting with this guy, Mika, in the OFA meetings right after the election, or right before the inauguration, and the big question was, what would Organizing for America, Obama for America be? Is it going to be top-down or bottom-up? And you know, I haven't paid close enough attention, but I think you guys probably know more than me sort of how actually that organizing happened. So what I want to make sure I leave you with is this notion that what arguably the strongest movement so far this century in America, the Tea Party movement, is grounded on this idea of true communities. And that is if you look at what's generally happening in the world right now, the revolutions that are going on, and I don't just mean the Arab Spring revolutions, I mean how people are using Facebook and how they're using Twitter for all kinds of things in their life, how they're going to a Las Vegas sports fans, how they're going to I don't know what all these things are. Here's the point. I'm going to stand up because I want to make it really clear. People are turning away from big media, big industry, big finance, big food, big pharma, big industry, and they're turning to each other. It's very early. It's very subtle, and it's very early. This big shift from television to Facebook, people spending all this time on Facebook, what are they doing? They're not watching their Biggest Loser friends on TV. They're looking at their Biggest Loser friends in real life. Isn't that what you do on Facebook? And you can write it off as something silly. You could write it off as something stupid and silly. And what are people talking about their cats on Twitter and all this stupid stuff? And who cares about the role players guild meetup. That is the signal of something really important. It's saying that people are turning to each other. And now they're starting to sell to each other and rent to each other, Airbnb and Etsy and all these things. They're starting to loan money to each other. They're going to start insuring each other. It's really disruptive. It's a whole new economy. That there's a shift, a walking away from the 20th century of that, turned away from each other and being disconnected to waking up to the power of each other. That's the revolution going on, and it's very early, and it's pretty exciting. And so, how does this relate to your work?